Hey everybody, Hank Winchester, Help Me Hank. We appreciate you joining us here on Look 4 Plus, giving you a live look right now at Detroit Metro Airport. A beautiful day here at Detroit Metro, and also a very historic day as Real ID now being enforced not only here at Detroit Metro, but at airports across the country. We thank you for spending some time with us today. We want to get you up to speed and give you all the information you need to know to make sure that you are Real ID compliant. Now, here are some of the key things that you need to be aware of as we move forward with Real ID. Number one, today is Enforcement Day, meaning that TSA looking to see whether you are in fact Real ID compliant. Do you have that star on your license? You can still get an ID though. Just because today is Enforcement Day doesn't mean that the time is expired on you getting that updated license. All you have to do, make an appointment with the Secretary of State, bring in the necessary paperwork, a birth certificate, your current ID, you are good to go. Some other information we want you to know is that you can still make your way through security here at DTW if you do not have Real ID, but I want you to prepare for a little bit of an extra wait. TSA officials, they are being flexible. They are working with passengers that do not have Real ID, but understand you may have to go through some additional screening as you make your way through the airport. I can tell you right now here at DTW, it has been smooth sailing, no big problems to report here all day long. Airport officials saying that things have been moving just as they expected. As you can see here behind me, there's not even a very long security line people have been going through, but we have been told they have pulled some people to the side who do not have their Real ID just to make sure that they can make their way through that screening process. I had an opportunity earlier today to talk to some passengers arriving here at Metro on this big day, and here's what they had to say. When did you, get the upgrade to your license? Were you up for normal renewal, or?
Yeah. 2 years ago, probably. They already automatic did it.
Okay, so you're way ahead of the curve.
Yeah, we passed it.
Okay.
We passed that test.
Okay, got it. Were you worried that things might be a little slow today?
To be honest with you, a lot of people text message me, make sure you have it. So I
because today was the day.
It was, yeah. They said me.
I got mine for the trip.
Talk to me about it. So you didn't have Real ID, right?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
But I went and got an enhanced ID for the cruise.
For this trip? Because you wanted to be able to go?
Exactly.
Got it.
And I wasn't sure that I had the right ID, so I just got an enhanced ID.
We're going on the cruise to Nassau, Bahamas.
Nice. So
Yeah.
did you already have your Real ID? Were you ready?
Yeah, I
You
have my enhanced ID.
Enhanced ID?
Yeah.
Passport then? So do you need the passport then also for the Bahamas? You don't need a
No.
passport for the Bahamas.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you been hearing about Real ID?
Yes.
Almost to nauseum, a little bit too
Right.
much.
Yeah.
But you were set because you already had your enhanced license.
Yes, all set.
Were you worried at all about longer lines today because of the enforcement today?
No.
No.
Not at all.
You were all set.
Yeah, our flight doesn't leave until 3 o'clock, so we're here on time.
You got plenty of time. You enjoy it.
Thank you.
All
Have a
right.
great day.
You too. The Bahamas sounds nice today, doesn't it? A whole crew heading down their girls' trip, and they were prepared. In fact, everybody that we spoke to today was ready to go either with Real ID or they had a passport, which is an important reminder. If you are not Real ID compliant, but you do have a valid U.S. passport, no problem getting through security at all. You can use that passport as your form of identification. Listen, even though we've been talking about Real ID for quite a while now, remember, this was passed originally after 9/11 to improve security. It got delayed several times over the years, most recently during the pandemic. But I know a lot of you still have questions about it. It can be confusing for some, overwhelming, the thought of having to make your way to the Secretary of State, get those documents together to make sure that you are set. For others, it's a very easy process, but that's exactly why we spent some time talking with the TSA, answering some of your questions. Take a look. There's a lot of confusion regarding Real ID. The program first enacted back in 2005 experienced many delays, and I get why it is confusing. We asked, and so many of you had questions. Neil asking, can you use this to get into Canada and back? The answer, no. You either need a passport or an enhanced driver's license. Pamela says, mine expires August 2025. Can I wait to renew, or do I have to do it now, then again in August? For that answer, I went straight to the TSA.
Go ahead and make that appointment. You don't have to have an expired license to re-up for the Real ID. So don't feel like you have to wait.
Another question a lot of you are asking me, can you use the Real ID to fly internationally? The answer, no. You will still need a passport if you are leaving Detroit and you were taking an international flight. Kevin asked, why haven't they automatically been issuing people Real IDs? Shouldn't have to pay extra. Kevin, you don't have to pay anything extra. That is, if you are up for renewal right now. If you want the Real ID early, there's a little bit of a fee. What if you've decided you don't want to fly? And maybe you just want to drive over to Windsor. Can you use the Real ID? No. You either need your passport or an enhanced driver's license. Pam asked, I don't plan on flying or going to Canada, so can I keep my ID until I need to renew in a few years? The answer, yes. No need to renew right now, but understand you won't be able to fly domestically or visit certain facilities after May 7th. All right, back here in the McNamara terminal at DTW again. Today is just Enforcement Day, meaning that is the day moving from here on out that TSA is going to be asking and making sure that you are Real ID compliant. It doesn't mean that it is expired for you to get the opportunity to get that upgraded license. Again, the best advice, just make your way to the Secretary of State website. You can make an appointment right online. That way you're getting in and out as quickly as possible. You can also learn there on the website which documents you need to bring if you don't have a valid driver's license right now. The Secretary of State saying they're committed to working to get people in and out as quickly as possible. Do know, though, because of this Real ID deadline, they have seen an increase in people making those appointments, so you're likely going to have to schedule one a few days out. If you have other questions regarding Real ID, feel free to touch base with me, or you can always get the latest and updated information at clickondetroit.com. Another story I want to bring to your attention is one that I shared with you yesterday. Several viewers got in touch with me regarding concerns involving a Clinton Township granite company. Now, this granite company mainly works to put together headstones and grave markers for families that have lost a loved one. Many people reaching out to me because they were having trouble getting in touch with the owner of this company, and as you can imagine, they had family members who had already passed, and they were working very diligently to make sure that those markers were placed in, in an appropriate amount of time. Unfortunately, they were not able to get a resolution, and we quickly learned why. Take a look at the story.
It's been one thing after another.
Marilyn wants her father's grave marker.
It's upsetting because I have to go out there and look and there's nothing there.
His headstone paid in full shortly after his passing last year. This is the original invoice from the granite company.
From the granite company, which is paid in full.
Today, his family only able to find his grave because of the flowers they've placed here.
The man promised us that, we can come out there and see the headstone. It was going to be there. And like I said, we went out there last Saturday, and there was nothing.
The family even paid the cemetery hundreds to place the missing marker in the ground. The marker purchased right here at Clinton Grove Granite. Now take a look. The door here is shut, it's locked. There's a sign, temporarily closed due to a personal medical situation. But we know the real reason the owner is not here. It's because he's right here, locked up inside the Macomb County Jail. Now take a look. This is Jacob Katzak's mugshot. DUI, third offense. He was taken into custody earlier this year, and he'll likely remain here locked up until this fall. How frustrating is it for you? Because, his granite place is right across the street, and you've got families that have paid the cemetery for burial.
It's heartbreaking, to be honest.
Tina is with the Clinton Grove Cemetery, not affiliated in any way with the granite company, and they're working to help these families get a resolution.
The families are coming out here looking for closure. And in effect, that's often what a headstone or a marker is. It's the final closure in the way to say, hey, she's here, he's here, and we're going to be able to come visit this spot and know that our loved one is here. I reached out to the Macomb County Sheriff's Office and was told they are working on trying to connect these families with the business. The plan right now, have police gain access to the building, release the markers, and have them installed in the cemeteries.
We need something done here and now. Not yesterday, today. If you promise you're going to do a thing, you need to do it.
And the information I received today from the Macomb County Sheriff's Department is that they are working right now to get in touch with someone within that business that can work with family members to help them resolve their issues. Another big thing that we've been following, the tariffs and the impact on the economy. And obviously for us, the consumer, that involves all the things that we buy every day, whether it's a car or just grocery staples. That's exactly why I spent some time talking with Andrea Warrock. She is a consumer shopping investigator. She helps us all to save money. I chatted with her recently, and here's her advice to all of you. Okay, everybody, obviously we're all concerned about the cost of just about everything, and now news of the tariffs. And we've been watching this very closely and trying to see how the tariffs are going to impact the everyday items that we buy. And of course, many people obviously need to buy groceries, the grocery staples. And we know that some grocery stores have come out and said, listen, we're going to do whatever we can not to pass on these additional costs to you. And some other retailers saying they have no choice but in order to raise prices because of the additional costs they are incurring because of the tariffs. So, Andrea, I want to ask you here right off the bat. You know, we come to you. You give us so much good advice about what we can do overall in saving when we're talking about groceries. But are there any new techniques, tricks, or strategies, you know, moving ahead to deal with what could be a potential significant increase for us?
Right. Well, I mean, you definitely want to pay attention to where your food's coming from. Looking at the back of your produce, you can tell, you know, if it's being imported from Mexico or, you know, a different country, then that's obviously going to potentially increase the price of that product. But we have plenty of options that come right from the US. So maybe trying to pay attention to that, maybe shopping at your local farmer's market if you have one could help you save. So those are a couple of things to think about. But I really want to lean into a tip and a strategy that I often talk about. And it really comes down to making sure you are creating a meal plan. This is going to be crucial for reducing how much you buy that you don't really need that could end up in your trash, whether it's overbuying produce in bulk and some of it going bad because you just don't have enough time to eat it before it spoils. Maybe you just are buying, you know, extra snacks and other items on impulse when you're grocery shopping, and it can go to waste. So ultimately, having a meal plan in place, knowing exactly what you're going to cook through the week, which meals you're eating at home, maybe even looking for recipes that use overlapping ingredients to ensure that whatever you buy, like that big bag of potatoes, is used in its entirety. That's ultimately going to help you cut back on food waste, and that's going to shrink your grocery bill. Something that I actually practice in my own home is not really doing those bulk shopping trips as much, unless it's for maybe those non-perishable items or food for my pantry that I know can last a little bit longer, but rather shopping a little bit more frequently and buying less. So I buy, you know, fruit a few times a week, but I buy a smaller amount. So when you open my fridge, it's not overstocked, because this ultimately helps you reduce food waste, because we were just throwing away too much in produce, and this has really reduced my grocery bill.
Andre, I think the thing that's so different about groceries, obviously different than electronics or the auto tariffs, is that we're talking about a shelf life, right? So, I mean, if you don't use these items within a certain amount of time, they're likely going to go bad. Do we expect, or have you heard of any sort of grocery chains or some food suppliers saying, listen, we know that the tariffs are coming and this is how we're going to handle it? Or do you think it's still kind of a wait and see?
Yeah, I mean, I think at this point it's a wait and see. I mean, retailers have been battling with inflation and prices have been going up. I mean, grocery prices have skyrocketed over the last few years. But then there have been stores like Target and Walmart that have said, hey, we want to help consumers out. We're going to reduce prices. I think Target several months ago came out with a list of grocery items that they were slashing in prices. And although it wasn't a big discount per item overall, it was helping consumers save. So there are things that stores are doing to help consumers. And so A few other things that you could consider doing too is also, making sure that you're sticking with the store brands. That's always going to be a better option than the pricier name brands. And those store brands have come a long way. I mean, you have really quality ingredients from, Target's Good and Gather, and even your local grocery stores, generic brands. Great way to keep costs down. Also, when you go to the stores looking for the food that is nearing its expiration date, it's obviously not an expiration date, it's a best by day. And so this could be marked down 50 to 70% off, especially for fresh foods and more expensive meats or chicken, fish, and that could help reduce your grocery bill as well. Now, if you do have, items in your pantry or in your fridge that maybe is past the expiration date, do the smell test. You can actually go online and look at the shelf life, look to see how long a product is good to consume after that best by day. It could be a couple of weeks, it could be a couple of months, maybe for things like yogurt is actually good for a week or two after that date. So don't throw everything away right away. You know what I mean? Pay attention to that as well.
What about some of the online markets that have recently popped up that have become pretty popular? I think some of them, kind of were conceived during the pandemic, but like a Thrive Market. I know that they, for example, have an entire section where you can, search and look for items that are grown, farmed, raised in the U.S. Do you think that this is going to be kind of an avenue that's going to grow, where people are trying to find products that are locally sourced, and maybe these online markets can be an option for people?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a great site to consider, and consumers would be really savvy to seek out deals through those types of sites. I also know that there are other websites like Misfit Foods where you can buy produce that perhaps isn't, that has been deemed ugly, meaning that it's not accepted by grocery stores because maybe it was grown in an odd shape or not the right exact color, but it's perfectly safe to consume, and you can get that at a discount. So that's also a great option as well. And if you do have some favorite foods that maybe are imported, go to a site like Marty. Marty gets grocery surplus items that maybe are just out of season or they just had too much of, and they're selling them for 30 to 50% off. And those could be popular name brands. And those are usually like your non-perishable items. Think, like your box food, your canned foods, things like that. Because we do know even with those metal tariffs, canned food prices can go up. So that's something to consider as well.
That's something I didn't even think about. I didn't even think about the actual metal that is,
right,
encasing the food itself. I know you're very big on loyalty programs. Is this still a time when we should be kind of sticking to one store, taking advantage of the opportunity maybe to save on gas or get a credit card discount or something like that? Or should we be more savvy and should we be shopping around? What should be our goal here?
Yeah, I mean, personally, it can get a little overwhelming when you're shopping around. So I think for most consumers, when I try to think of what's realistic for most people, they're not going to start driving around to different stores to buy different groceries at different prices. Plus, it's not really a good use of your gas. You're going to start wasting money there. But what you could do is once you have that meal plan in place and you know what you want to cook, you can then use an app like Flip to see which stores in your area have the best deals for the majority of the ingredients on your list, and maybe try shopping there. So just be open to trying different stores. Maybe don't be as loyal, but certainly sign up for as many loyalty programs that you have out that are available, because any points or coupons that you get can all help you save. Now, a big strategy that I think a lot of people can get a little better and savvier at is paying attention to how they're paying for their groceries. Credit cards offer great reward programs these days, but each credit card has a different way of rewarding you. So you want to figure out which credit card offers the most cash back for the groceries that you're buying at the store that you're buying them at. So for instance, a grocery rebate card isn't going to give you bonus cash back if you're buying your groceries at Target or Costco, because they disclude those big box stores. So you do need to figure out which card would then work better for you at that retailer. Otherwise, I like flat rate cashback cards. This is a great opportunity to maximize cash back for every purchase you're making. So a good example, the Bread Cashback American Express credit card offers an unlimited 2% back at every store, every transaction. So whether you buy groceries at Target or your local grocery store, you know you're going to earn that extra 2% back. And with prices up, maximizing that cash back that you're getting on your purchases is going to help you out. Of course, as long as you're paying off your bill in full. But you could look at it as, you know, allowing that cash back to accrue in your account and then using that as statement credit to pay off your bill. So that's almost like getting free groceries every month.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great one because, I mean, a lot of these stores, like a Target, for example, they'll incentivize you to use their particular card, which I know at least with Target, I think it's 5% back on everything you purchase. You can, you know, accumulate points, but you can do that, you know, at a lot of the local chains, you know, like a Kroger or a Meijer, and a lot of people use those points either to get a reduction on the bill at the end of the month or, again, applying that towards a reduced rate for gasoline. So I think it really, you know, you say this to us all the time, but it's something that we really need to be more conscious of now, I think, than ever, is that we really just have to take the time to do it. If you want to save money, it's not going to come to you. You really have to take the time to research a little bit, but those apps really help make it pretty manageable, don't they?
Right. And I don't think you have to look at it as spending a lot of time. Find a couple of apps that you like, use that robust cashback credit card, like I mentioned, and just pay attention to which stores have the best prices for the regular grocery items you buy. So for instance, I go to my local Trader Joe's for our everyday snacks and our meats, and I find that that has really helped shrink our grocery bill. And then once in a while, I'll go to a different store here or there to pick up other ingredients when I see them on sale. I'm not overly complicating it, but I've gotten into a rhythm that I find that it's really helping us save. Another great rewards app, since you were asking about the rewards, is Fetch. I know I've talked about this before, but this is a great one for everybody to use. It's easy. It's not like trying to match coupons to sales. All you do is take a picture of your grocery receipt. They'll give you points, sometimes bonus points based on any promotions they have. And then all those points will accumulate in your account. You can then redeem those points for gift cards back to stores that sell groceries. So it could be Target, Walmart, Sam's Club, and then use those to help you save on some food purchases. All these strategies, again, coupled, will help you save big, and it doesn't have to take a lot of time.
I think Fetch is one of the best, easiest ones out there. You got me onto Fetch a couple of years ago, and that one is just easy. You just take a photo of the receipt, and then it kind of does its own magic, and boom, there you go, some extra money.
Exactly. I find that people like easy savings, right? So.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we got too much going on. Work, kids, life, it's just too much. And then you get hit with, you know, the higher costs of everything, and it makes things really challenging. So that's exactly why we appreciate your insight and your information. Andrea Warwick, thank you so much for your time today. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having me today.
Great advice from Andrea Warwick. We also at clickondetroit.com on the Help Me Hank page have a recent interview I did with the owner of Village Ford out of Dearborn, talking specifically about auto tariffs and what we can expect sticker-wise moving forward as those tariffs are in fact in place. I want to thank all of you for joining us live here from Detroit Metro Airport. Again, Real ID Enforcement Day. You still have plenty of time, though, to get that Real ID. Make sure you don't have an issue or a problem making your way through security. But the big news here today at the airport, really no security issues at all. TSA working with those who do not have the Real ID, but remember, if you make your way here, valid driver's license, passport if you want to board that plane. If not, you can expect some additional security screenings. Thank you for spending some time with us here on Local 4 Plus, and I will see you live today from Metro starting at 5 p.m.